Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Natoya and I'm here to help you start budget traveling the world. So in this video guys, I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide to booking an awesome Airbnb in Croatia, saving a ton of money and staying somewhere that you'll love. So if you're interested in booking an apartment in Croatia but don't know how much to pay, how to find a good one in a decent neighborhood, or if you're just overall worried about the booking process, stay tuned to this video because I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide on booking an apartment in Croatia. So guys, before we begin, make sure you download the checklist in the description to help you plan a budget-friendly trip to Croatia. So the tips in this video will help you no matter where you're going in Croatia. So far, I've stayed at 8 different Airbnbs in Croatia, all corners of Croatia. So these tips will help you no matter where you're going. I found some similarities and things you have to look out for when booking an apartment in Croatia. So I know these tips will help. So if you're not convinced already to stay at an apartment rental in Croatia, I have some reasons why you should go forth and just do it. So I have to say, my experience in Croatia was definitely shaped and just an even better experience than I could ever imagine. Simply because I stayed in apartments in Croatia. I stayed in neighborhoods where the average Croatian person lives, away from the tourist destination. I was able to go to local bakeries, local markets, and just get a feel for life in Croatia, which is exactly the experience I want to have when I'm traveling to a new country. I love to do the tourist thing, go to all of the sites, but I also love to feel like I'm living amongst the locals. Now, with that said, your money goes much further at an apartment rental. Accommodation is overall cheaper in Croatia because Croatia is a much more affordable country to travel in. But I have to say, booking an apartment, your money goes way further than booking a hotel. You get more space, you get a kitchen to cook in, all the appliances that comes in the kitchen. You get lots of household appliances that you don't need to travel with, a hair dryer, an iron, which you can find at hotels, but other amenities like a washing machine. An Airbnb I stayed at had a dryer. You get a living space. And one of my favorite things about the apartments here in Croatia is that they all have balconies where you can sit and relax. And it's just a really nice experience. And when you stay at an apartment in Croatia, you're staying at someone's home. So you get to talk to them about life here, ask them questions, get their recommendations. You have access to a local Croatian that will give you unbiased feedback on the things to do, where to go. And on top of all that, you get to have the local price and not the tourist price. Like any destination around the world, if you tend to go in the tourist area, you'll pay the tourist prices. Staying in a community like the community I'm in right now in Split, you get to go to restaurants, bakeries, markets where the locals go, and you're paying the same price they would pay. So overall, you're saving money and you're having a unique experience staying at an apartment rental. So be sure to check out the vlog I made about my stay in Pula, where I live, the restaurant I went to. I'll link it above. All right, let's quickly talk about when to book your apartment rental in Croatia. It's always best to come to Croatia off season. Like I said, Croatia is an affordable country to visit, but it's even cheaper when you come off season, the fall, spring, and avoid the tourist season. I'm here right now in Croatia during the summertime, and things are a lot more expensive, not that much expensive, than if I had just came in the fall. Next, make sure you book as early as possible. I always recommend booking 3 months before arrival so that you can secure the best deals. So you have many different options on where to book your apartment rental, but I highly recommend Airbnb.com. Simply because Airbnb is meant for home sharing, and other websites like hotels.com or hotelscombined.com have so many properties, and it's mainly for hotels. So they're catering to people that are looking for hotels, while Airbnb is simply catering for people that want to stay at someone's home when traveling. So let's start looking for an Airbnb. So our example here is Split from September 9th to the 13th. And like I said again, everything I'm telling you in this video goes for any city in Croatia. So of course you would start by entering the city, Split, Croatia, September 9th to the 13th. And let's say it's 2 people going. So we're gonna search that. So if possible, try to be flexible with maybe 1 or 2 days before and after. If you really can be flexible, click +7 days, but let's do 3 plus or minus days. Next, select entire place. If you were going to a really expensive city like Switzerland, country like Switzerland, or somewhere in the UK, I would recommend you rent a private room in an apartment because it'll be way cheaper. But since Croatia is overall an affordable country, I recommend you just do an entire apartment. Next, you would select the amount of beds, bedroom. Let's say you're a couple going and you just need 1 bed, 1 bedroom. And then you will scroll down with the amenities you need. I always need air conditioning, Wi-Fi. Those are like the most important things. You can go through and add whatever else you need. Click search. And next, you would enter your price range. So since I'm traveling around Croatia, it's a total of 4 of us. My budget was a little on the higher end. You can get pretty decent properties in Croatia from $40 to $50 a night. And when I'm talking decent, I mean really good reviews, in a good area, clean, lots of space. So let's look at that now. So what I'm gonna do, I already know that we can get this for cheaper, so I'm gonna enter 50 bucks a night. So here's what you have. You have about, let's see, a lot of results here. Since the accommodations are pretty cheap, we can stay closer to the city center. So what I would do is I use the map to zoom in. This is where everything is happening in Split, so let's zoom in there. You wanna be able, it seems like you'll be able to walk to everything here or take a taxi. So what's the results now? It's even less, so still a lot, 7 pages, but that's pretty good. So just some tips about booking Airbnbs in Croatia. The further you are from the city center, the cheaper it is. But it looks like we don't have to worry about that because it is off season and a lot of the properties are pretty reasonable. So now that you've cut down your results, you can get a short list of 3 to 5 Airbnbs and you can look through those and pick one. So how I go about selecting Airbnbs is this. So I look at Airbnbs that I know that I would like. So I like Airbnbs that doesn't have a lot of clutter, that's plain, neutral colors, they won't drive me crazy. Airbnbs that have at least a 4.85 rating and at least 50 reviews. I feel safer going to an Airbnb with over 100 reviews, but 50 reviews I can work with. Sometimes I've even done less if the reviews are really good. All right, so since the results are still a ton and they're still all pretty cheap, I would actually get the exact dates that I want to travel. I would remove this here and search again. And also I look out for Superhost, which you would see in the top left corner. All right, so if I scroll down and look through, this one here kind of looks good, but it's 4.71. If we just look here, I think the first one is a pretty decent apartment. You would obviously look through all of them, but I think this first one here is a pretty decent apartment. It has, it's a Superhost. It has 113 reviews, 4.86. It's 50 bucks a night, and there's no cleaning fee. That's surprising. So that passed the test. It's definitely a decent place. All right, so the next thing you would do is read the note from the host. Make sure it has everything you need. Look at the amenities. There's a hair dryer, shampoo offered, hangers, TV with cable. If you need a smart TV, make sure you read the amenities. And sometimes it just has TV here, so you can send your host a message to see if it's a smart TV. There's AC, of course. There's Wi-Fi. Make sure it has everything you need. Next, you would read the reviews. The number one thing I look for is to make sure the place is clean. That's such a deal breaker for me. If I see anything that even mentions there's bugs or the place wasn't cleaned well, I automatically click off. I don't care high the rating is. So you would go through and read what reviews say. You would see where it is on the map. And then finally, you would see the cancellation policy. So I always make sure that all the Airbnbs I book, if I need to cancel, I can get a full refund. So just scroll all the way down and look where it says cancellation policy and see what the host is offering. So this host here is offering cancel before September 8th and get a full refund minus the service fee. And check-in would be on the 9th, so you can cancel the day before and you'll get a full refund minus the service fee, which is $28 here. So to be honest, I was not 100% in love with the search adults, so what I would do was up the price just a little bit because it's still pretty cheap, 65 bucks a night. So I would put $65, and let me show you somewhere I would actually book, because that other one, I'm not too much in love with it. So I'm just looking through. So like this one, for example, this one here, I would probably book because it's a large space. It's lots of empty spaces. It's near the Riviera. I read that in the description. I love the stainless steel fridge, yeah. And the stove here, it's more modern. It has neutral colors. So I would definitely probably book this one and pay the extra, thought it was $65, but it looks like it's $61 a night. I would actually just pay the extra $9 a night just for this place. I would read the reviews, make sure it has the amenities that I like, and then I would look on the map to see where it is. Also make sure that it's easy to get to restaurants, supermarkets, bakeries nearby. Make sure they're close and easy to get to so you don't give yourself a headache. Another point I want to make is that in Croatia, there tends to be one AC for the entire apartment. So you would have to leave all the doors open if you want to cool the other rooms. So be sure to message your Airbnb host to find out if there's one AC or ACs in every room. It actually wasn't a huge problem. We just left all the doors open to get the air into the room. But if you're booking an Airbnb with another couple, and of course you want your privacy, make sure you message your Airbnb host to make sure there's ACs in every room. And also find out if there's elevators in the apartment building. It's not a huge issue, but if maybe you can't carry heavy bags up. So I do have to mention the communities, your apartment does have a grungy vibe to it. It of course depends on where you're renting. But the further you are from your city center, the communities tend to have a grungy vibe to it. Just don't worry too much. If you arrive at your apartment complex and there might be some graffiti on the wall, don't worry. Everything will be just fine. It's just how some of the apartment complexes are here in Croatia. It's what I experienced in Pula, Zagreb, Split, the 2 split apartments I stayed at. It's just kind of the vibe. It kind of has that grungy vibe that you would experience in Paris as well. And of course, if you're still unsure about the apartment you choose, just send the Airbnb host any questions you'll have just to get the feel of the person. I sometimes do that if I book an Airbnb with very little reviews. And sometimes after I book, I do a Google search of the location just to get a feel of the neighborhood. And I see what's around the location, what restaurants, bakeries, bars, whatever, just to get a vibe of the location and see what to expect. And you will get the exact address of the Airbnb after booking. So after you book, your Airbnb host will contact you and ask you what time to expect for arrival. And many of the hosts here did ask me if I needed a ride from the airport. So guys, I hope I did convince you to stay at an Airbnb in Croatia. You will save a ton of money. You will have a unique experience. But before you leave, make sure you check out this video here on traveling around Croatia using the bus, going from one major city to another, and this video here on eating in Croatia on a tight budget. And also check out the playlist in the video filled with so many videos of planning your trip from Croatia to start to finish if you're on a tight budget. Bye.